The party of small government is back at it again with a law that I honestly thought was a hoax when I first saw it, but it's real. So here is Governor Stitt of Oklahoma, a Republican, and he was talking with Fox 25 about a new law, a change to the way graduation requirements for high school work. And he says, I'm always talking about classrooms to careers. I want every kid ready for a career. And so I'm thinking about even making it a requirement to graduate from Oklahoma high schools. You've got to either be accepted to college, or you have to be accepted into a career tech, or you have to be going into the Army. You have to have some kind of plan post-graduation to go get a great job. That's what he's calling for. So you have to either be going on to higher education. It seems like this sort of implicitly elitist approach that they claim the Democrats always have. Okay, well, maybe not that. You could do a trade school, and if you don't do either of those things, your ass is going into the military. You're being drafted by Governor Stitt of Oklahoma. And the interesting thing is that he's like implying that these are the requirements for you to be successful, to get a good job. At the same time, companies are sort of moving away from this. 1 in 3 companies are ditching college degree requirements for salary jobs, which, considering the cost of education, might well be necessary. I don't like the confluence of all these things, but that's what they're doing. And I just want to remind everyone that this isn't just implicitly anti-freedom, implicitly anti the way Republicans talk about the government. The idea that, like, if you want to finish high school and then work on your family farm, no, you don't get to do that. Not with a high school diploma anyway, because Governor Stitt thinks that's not good enough. If you want to go out and start your own business, if you want to go out and move to LA and act or whatever, you're not going there with a high school diploma. You have a couple of specific options that are acceptable to the Republican governor of Oklahoma, and if you don't fit into that, forget about it. Those 4 years were wasted on you. And I want to remind everyone, there is a massive class aspect to this, because it's all well and good to be like, I want you to get a good job, so just go to college. I don't know if he knows this, but it kind of costs some money to go to college. In fact, in-state university there typically costs around $28,000 a year when considering tuition, room and board, and other costs. So he's signing you on to over $100,000 of expenses to get that diploma. I looked it up. Trade schools are not as expensive as colleges in Oklahoma, but they're not free either. They still cost thousands of dollars. And so if you're one of the people who doesn't have a lot of resources, maybe can't afford to do either of those things, well, guess what? Your class of Oklahoman is now going to serve in the military. Not the rich people, they don't have to worry about that. They're gonna go to a great college, probably out of state. They're gonna go to Harvard or Yale or whatever. They can afford that stuff. But you poor bastards are gonna go serve your nation abroad in one of the wars that Marjorie Greene's gonna start. What do you think, Sabrina?
I mean, I think it's a draft with less steps, essentially, because yes, college, is quite expensive. It's not feasible. People are going to have to go into debt, so they're funding, just student debt at this point. So yeah, it does feel like a draft with extra steps. It's just another talking point for recruiters at high schools, to have like, oh, here's an option or else. It's awful, and it also does send the message of you are only valuable for your labor. Go to college, get skills. Go to trade school, get skills. Go to military. Like that is essentially what he is, saying. What the governor is saying by introducing this, that you're only valuable because of your labor. So on one hand, he is admitting, yes, labor has very important value, but on the other hand, forcing teens who are barely becoming adults into this limited tree of options, it's unethical, and I do feel like it's just another form of a draft.
I agree with you there 100%. It's so deeply strange. Like, if you're a Republican, you're watching this, does this feel like freedom to you at all? Like, I understand, yeah, we want our kids to do well. I want everyone to have the option and the opportunity to go to either a trade school or to college if that's what they want to do. I don't personally want it only because I want them to have a great job. I think that it can be a deeply enriching experience that enriches the individual as well as the communities they end up in and the country at large. But there are different ways to go about this. How about this? How about Governor Stitt say, I care so much about the job prospects of the next generation that, don't worry, I'm not gonna do something stupid like requiring them to sign up to get their diploma. No, instead, I'm gonna raise some taxes to make a fund where anyone who wants to go to 4 years of public college, anyone who wants to go to a trade school will have that funding. Or hell, I also think the national service is important. So I'm gonna have a state level fund where if you sign up for the military and if you serve a certain number of years, you're gonna come back and you're gonna be signed a check by the state to help you start up a business, maybe buy a home or whatever. You could do all of that to incentivize these life plans that you think are so admirable, but instead they go the other direction. You won't get any support. All you'll get is requirements, obligations. That's all he's got for you. I think there are other ways forward.